This video is flipping for fall, as in I'm making fall decor that can be flipped into Christmas decor. I have a package of the Dollar Tree unfinished mug wood ornaments that I picked up last year, and I'm going to be gluing them all together to make a chunky mug. But the first thing that I want to do with these is cut off the whipped cream. I'm going to make a straight line with my square, and then once I have that cut down, I'll use it as a template for the other 6 that I'm cutting. I'm going to be leaving the whipped cream on just one of these mugs. To glue them together, I'm using the super glue wood glue from Dollar Tree. And here I'm making sure I have a nice mug that does not have any chips or weird texture on the front and back. So just a dollop of that glue in the middle. And you'll notice that I put the one that still has the whipped cream on top in the center of that stack. And then once I have them all glued together, I'm going to straighten out those edges as best as possible. Line those mugs up together. And then I'm going to put a clamp on one side and readjust before adding a clamp to the other side. And I left those to dry overnight. Next day, everything's glued together well. The color that I'm going to be using on the front side of the mug is Spiced Carrot by Apple Barrel. And I'm only painting the mug. I'm not going over the edges. And then I used my heat gun to dry that up. I made a decal with my Cricut that says pumpkin spice. I cut that of a dark brown color. And I'm going to go over the top of that with some Mod Podge. Not only does that help the vinyl letters stay on, it also gives a nice shine. And I'm going to put some kitchen and bath caulk up here where the whipped cream should be. I'm going to kind of let it drip over the edge of the mug. I'm going to go back on it. And I'm just going to zigzag till I get all the way up to the top. Like that. I'm going to take some ground cinnamon and sprinkle it over. I'll sprinkle just a little bit. Come on, cinnamon. There we go. I'll take a brush and brush away that. And then I'm also going to glue a couple of cinnamon sticks at the bottom. I don't know how well I can cut cinnamon sticks with these wire cutters, but I'll try it. Oh, not bad at all. Actually, I could have probably used my scissors. Put a couple of dollops of glue, hot glue on there. And this is my low temp gun. So I'll stick that down like so. And then I'm going to go right under it with that other piece. I'll put a little bit of a gap. Yeah, we'll go with that. I've got a little piece of ribbon here from, I have no idea where it's from. I'm going to put it there on the cinnamon sticks after I cut down these little tails here. I'm going to go right in that gap, right there. And now that side is finished. I just need to let everything dry here, meaning the caulk. How cute is that? For for the back side, I'm using Baby Pink by Folk Art Paint. And same as before, I'm just going to paint the front flat area, no sides or edges. I used the same brown vinyl as before to make a decal that says Hot Cocoa Season. And I'm just putting Mod Podge over the top of that. I'm going to make some little marshmallows to go on my hot cocoa cup. I'm just rolling out some air dry clay. Trying to get the shape of mini marshmallows. I don't want those totally straight edges. Taper those in just a bit. Like so. And I'm going to let those sit and dry out. I'm going to put the little marshmallows on some of these long toothpicks so I can paint them. I'm going to go ahead and do it while they're drying. Let the paint and the clay dry at the same time. I like getting the little mini marshmallows that are different colors. So that's the idea I had with these. I'm going to use the color Cloudless on one. I'll just take a little bit of paint out of that lid. And I'm going to stick them down in a little piece of styrofoam to dry. There's that. I'm going to go with Lilac Mist on another one. I think the multicolored marshmallows that you buy are pink, white, and a mint green. But these are some fun colors that I thought I would use on mine. And the last one I'm painting with Celery Waverly Chalk Paint. Now, just like on the other side, I'm going to be using this white kitchen and bath caulk. There. Smush that over to the side. I want to come over in the front just a little bit. Kind of blur in that line, the straight line on the mug. And going up in a swirl. There we go. The embellishments I'm going to do on here, I don't have any powder to shake on that, but I do have little chocolates. Let's see which ones will work out the best. That one's kind of cute. I think I'll put that one on there. It looks like Mickey Mouse with a pink bow. I'm just going to press it down into the caulk just a little. Oh, chocolate candy cane. Great. I'll let that one hang over just a smidge. Now I'm going to glue on the little marshmallows. I'm going to put them down here at the bottom. Just barely got all three on there. Isn't that cute? I was bragging about the other side, but doggone if I don't think I like this one even better. Probably because it's pink. This next one's so easy I can hardly call it a DIY. Take an old Scrabble game, and on one of the little wooden pieces that hold your letters, spell out autumn with some blocks, or tiles I should say, A-U-T-U-M-N, and I'm going to glue those down. I'm eyeballing here how to get it in the middle, and I'll just put a little dot on the back of that, and then the others will press up against that. And then we have our autumn Scrabble tiles. Now let's flip it to Christmas. Just like that. I've got more letters, 3 more letters in the word Christmas. So I'll have to reposition, otherwise I would just go right on top of those other tiles. And that's it. So you have autumn, and then flip it to Christmas. Since I've got a little bit of a gap on each side of autumn, I took some leaves off of this Dollar Tree aster. They almost look like oak leaves. I'm going to cut those apart and put one on each side. And these being flat, it won't affect when you flip it over. And when you flip it, those will just lay flat on the sides. It doesn't matter that they're showing. Now for the Christmas, I've got just that little gap at one end. And I pulled these berries off of the cluster that I had. I'm going to glue those 2 little berries with some snow on them right there at the end of that. So easy and so cheap because I got the Scrabble game for 25 cents. This video is part of the Flipping for Fall Open playlist, and it's being hosted by Shantell of Crafty Hints and co-hosted by Brenda of Rustic and Lace and Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun. We are to make at least 3 reversible fall DIYs. I've left links to this playlist and all their channels below. These wood crates from Dollar Tree can make cute book stacks that can be reversible. Going with the first side, I'm going to use the colors in this fall paper that I picked up. I want to go with some of the blue here, which I have a Tuscan teal color for that. And then the green, I'm going to use either moss or celery. And I'm just going to paint the top and bottom books, and I'm going to try to scrap together some of this paper to go in the middle of the book stack. Before I start painting, I'm going to tape over those ends. Here we go. Press it down. I'm going to go ahead and go across the top too. I took out my moss and celery colors, and I think actually the moss color will be closer to a match. So I'm going to, this seems to be even darker. The Tuscan teal seems to be a bit darker than the moss, so I'll start with the moss at the top. I think I can live with that, but I'm first gonna put some hazelnut, because I did have some of that go over into the middle strip. So to hide that mess with a piece of paper that's a little too narrow, I'm going to use my hazelnut color. It'll be good to add just another element in there. Hazelnut by Waverly. I'll get my tiniest brush and go right in that crease. Unless this is your first time here, you'll know that sometimes I change my mind mid-project. and I did it again today. I like the hazelnut color up against those other two so well that I painted the middle section, and I also taped off around those edges, and I'm painting hazelnut on the top as well. I'm going to carry that hazelnut around to the back side as well, because it will be matching the Christmas decor that I'm adding on the back. And I had to do 2 coats of the hazelnut. For some reason it doesn't cover as well as other paint. I'm going to cover a little wood tag. The tags are from BEEBEECRAFT, but they have similar tags at Dollar Tree. Looks like that'll be the best bet on the what to put on the tag. I'm gonna leave this top blank and glue it down like that, and then I'll have something else that I put on the back. Get me a little bit of Mod Podge on my brush, smooth it all in the center, and then make sure to rake it down to those edges, all 4 sides, and then put that paper down. I'm going to put a piece of this leather on the back because it seems to match the hazelnut color well, and I don't know why, but I just feel like leather, especially this color leather, says fall. Well, it does in my opinion. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a piece off there and glue it to the back side. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess of the paper while I'm at it. Round that over, around that end. I'm going to use Mod Podge. I might ought to use tacky glue. We'll see after it sits and dries. If it's not adhering well, I'll switch to tacky glue. I'm going to go pretty heavy on this because leather is heavy material. I made a decal with my Cricut. I created it in CANVA, and it says fall is in the air. I'll cut it apart and then set her up on the books. I'm going to do the bottom book first because the other ones I'll just set her up on top of that. Now I'm going to attach that tag I made earlier. I've got a piece of twine that I've got the ends of the twine even. I'm going to tie a knot so that tag will lay flat on the book stack like so. I'll wrap forward with one and backward with the other and meet on the top. So there's the fall side, and now for the Christmas side. I already have my hazelnut color in the middle and on the top. This is going to be a gingerbread theme book stack, and I'm doing light pastel colors. I'm going to use Folk Art Baby Pink, and I'm going with the light blue color called Cloudless by Apple Barrel on this top. The decal that I cut out for this, I did a light color in the middle and then brown on the top and bottom. I'm writing out Baking Spirits Bright. Now I'm going to glue down one of these foam gingerbread men that came in a 4-pack at Dollar Tree last year. I'm going to put him kind of catty-cornered on there. Well, I went overzealous with the glue. I think I can peel that off. Isn't that cute? Now, of course, I have to take the twine off between flipping it from Fall is in the Air to Baking Spirits Bright. That's why I did not hot glue the twine down. I've had this old cookie sheet hanging out in my craft room for quite a while, waiting for a project. The first thing I'm going to do is sand both sides lightly and then take it outside and spray one side with this Rust-Oleum 2X white. That's just basically a base coat so something else can adhere there. I'm going to start with the back. I'm going to be covering it with this Gather Here with Grateful Hearts. It's just the tiniest bit, and when I say tiny, I mean maybe 1/8 of an inch bigger than what the pan is. What I'm going to do to fill in that tiny bit of space is use some sisal rope. And I think this looks great for fall as well. Kind of like hay bales. I'm going to go right up against the edge so that placemat has something to rest on. And this rope is pretty stiff. I'll have to hold it in place until the glue cools because it's so stiff. Skip over a couple inches and put more glue. Just going along like that because I will use up all the glue sticks I have if I try to do the whole circumference of the pan. And I'll just keep going around until I make my way back to where I started. And one thing you can say about this sisal rope, it is tough. You almost need a wire cutter. These are my heaviest heavy-duty scissors. I like the way it looks so much that I want to put a row that's actually going to show over the, I guess you'd call it the lip of the pan down here. I like the look of the sisal rope so much. I did 3 rounds of it. I'm not going to trim it down. I like it just the way it is. So with that down, I'm ready to put down my placemat. I think I've got it where I want it. So I'm going to clamp. The best way I can think to hold it where I need it. Put a couple of clamps on right there. Check it again, make sure it's where I want it to be. It is. And now I'm going to flip that up and go all the way down the top of that rope. And I was going to go back on the metal too, but ran out of glue. And for the bottom, I'm just going to kind of make an L shape with my glue. I'm going to go from the handle down, and then all the way across. And I am going to put some on the middle here. Press it down. Already, this is so pretty. But I'm also going to add in a couple of these leaves in the corner here. I want to get different colors of these leaves because there's some that's the darkest, and then we have some white that's the lightest. There. I don't want it hanging over too much, or not at all really, because it might be seen when I flip it to the other side. So we're going to put it about right there. Put another leaf right here. And I'm just figuring out what I want to do before I start gluing. Let's go with a little pumpkin on its side. Actually, I'll put the pumpkin down here and add some berries. Because there's a Nice berry bunch right there. I'm gonna do just a few of those though. Just cut off one stem of those berries. See how that's looking. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty. I'm speeding this up to 8 times. Boy, I wish I could work that fast. But anyway, you'll see what I'm doing. It's basically how I laid them out before I started gluing. That is a pretty decor piece. A tiny bit of glue. I'm going to put it on the plastic this time. Try not to get it on the silk part of that leaf. Oh, lovely. I just love it. Now let's flip to the back side. Now for the Christmas side of the pan. That's the side that I painted white. I got some scuffs right here, but I'm okay with that. Kind of looks enameled with those little scuffs. This side of the pan is inspired by something that Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY made recently, a gingerbread man pan. Now Brenda used a really pretty light blue paper with snowflakes on it, which I do not have, but I do have this apple barrel cloudless acrylic color. So I'm going to put me a good dollop on there and spread that around. I'm going to decorate my little gingerbread man before I glue him on the pan in case I mess up. And she had a wood cutout. I've only got these little foam things, but if I mess it up, I can start on another one. If you had it glued down, it would be all that to detach. You know what I'm saying. I'm going to use some Posca markers and puff paints and just make it up as I go along. I don't have black for the eyes, so I'm going to use purple puff paint and make 2 peepers. I'll make a little smile. Right there. Now I'm going to take some white puff paint and make some frosting looking decor on its hands and feet. I need some buttons. I'm going to do different colors of buttons, about the same size as his eyes. Green. I'll go right under that with some yellow. And then turquoise. He's looking cute, y'all. I'm going to take one of these toothpicks and kind of move the paint around a little bit. Try to circle up a little more on those buttons. The turquoise just kind of blends in. It doesn't show it very well. Now I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now I'm going to work on the pan. I'm going to use some of the base filler from Dollar Tree in different colors, pastel colors. I'll add some white in there too. Why not? We'll see how it goes. I'll just dump them out on the pan. Sorry for the crinkles. Dump them in there too. I think I'm going to go in each corner with one of these white. I'm not going to bore you with watching me glue down glitter vase filler to look like gumdrops. I'm just going to speed it up here on 8 speed, and you'll see how I'm starting a pattern. And I'm not using the blue. I don't want to do blue on blue. I thought that would be too much. Another thing that Brenda used that I don't have is some blue rickrack. I'm going to go with my favorite color and use dark pink puff paint. She went around the edges with hers with the rickrack, but I don't have a lot of space on mine, so I'm just going to go inside here because my gingerbread man is smaller than the one that she had. So I'm going to need to do something to take up a little bit of space inside these glitter gumdrops. And I'm just going to do some zigzags best I can. While everything's drying, I'm going to work on the sign that the gingerbread man will be holding. And this is just a scrap piece of a paint stir. I'm going to measure on a blank guy, see how big I want it. I want to keep that knot hole. I think that's super cute. I'm going to use my dark pink Posca marker paint pen and write out "Let's Get" on one side and "Baked" on the other. Then I'm going to take a blue paint marker and make some little stitch designs all the way around both those signs. Now for the rolling pin, she had a much smaller one. This is just something I thrifted so many years ago. I'm going to cover it with vinyl since there's a hole there where the florals were. I'm going to wrap white vinyl around it. And then I'm going to use my baby pink folk art paint to paint the handles and the end of the rolling pin. My pink puff paint turned red after it dried. You can't see what I'm doing. There it is. You'll get a good look at it in just a few minutes. Now for the little gingerbread man, I'm gonna use tacky glue for him. Put some on a pan and smear it around, and then go up into the arms and legs and head. Okay, you're going right there, mister. There. Now I just need to put some on the edges. We're going to glue down the "Let's Get Baked" signs. I've had these for I don't know how long and never even opened them. Let's do a cube on each side. And hot glue on top of those. Might let up. I'm going to put "Baked" on the rolling pin. And I'm going to call this done. I have this round summer sign from Dollar Tree last year. And I'm going to be doing something on front and back both, of course. I'm just going to use a wet towel. One of my crafting towels that's grungy. Lay it on top of that for a while. This is going to take a minute. So I'm going to turn the camera off and come back when I get all this stuff off. Well, I've got the majority of that sticker off the front. There it is. But it's wet, so I'm going to have to start crafting on the other side. And I've got a price label to get rid of on this side. But what I'm going to do for it is just heat it up with my heat gun, and hopefully it will just scrape right off. I'm not papering this or painting it. I'm going to put vinyl down. I'll just get that started at a corner. And lay that down on the circle. So go ahead and pull that down. And trim away the excess. I'm going to be putting this decal on. I need to find my hanger so I can get it straight, get the decal straight. Now let's see if I can get this centered. Get it? I'm a little off, but I'm not going to fret about that. So there's that. Pretty cute. Not centered, but I'm okay with it. I'll do something up there with some ribbon or maybe twine. Maybe that'll look good. So I've got this cute little bow I'm going to fill in at the top with. And since it's wired, I can fold it down when I flip it to the other side. I'm going to put a dot of hot glue right under where the twine is going to go back. I'm going to glue that right there, right under where the twine hanger is going to go. So there is that. And I'm going to give you a view of all these at the end. Now I need to flip to the back side. Thank goodness it's finally dry. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some vinyl down, and I'm going with pink this time. Get started there. And pull that back and away. Smooth it down. Cut away the excess. The decal that I'm putting on this side is Gingerbread Bakery, and it's quite a bit smaller because I've got an idea of what kind of details to put in, and I'm reusing the transfer tape that I used on the last one. And I somehow missed taking the dot out of the inside of the E, and I lost the dot to the top of my eye. It looks like there's the same amount of space at the top as there is on the sides going around. We shall see. You know what? Close enough. I wish I'd had a lighter color of that brown. Oh, and I also cut my D off, but I did save the vinyl. I'm going to patch that. And see, the bow on the other side doesn't show because I just folded it over. Now let's get to some fun stuff on this. Now I'm going to go around the edges with the caulk. Now here's a look at all 5 autumn projects together. Now here's a look at all 5 Christmas decor DIYs. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, let me know by leaving a thumbs up. Now go over and enjoy the Flipping for Fall playlist. Until next time, bye-bye.